Hey, what's up, everybody? So, I just can't tell you how excited I am about this React Hooks thing. Holy cow, that's amazing. It's so cool. So, if you haven't seen Ryan's talk yet, it was live streamed, or Ryan and Dan and Sophie, they all talked about this really, it's a proposal, so it's actually not technically in React yet, but I'm pretty confident it's going to make it into React. They released it on npm as React 16.7.0-alpha.0, so you can install that. It's on the next tag, so you npm install React at next. You need to do that for both React and React DOM to use it, but it is phenomenally good. I don't know if I'll ever. I mean, I've got all of my class components and everything. They're all still going to work. Like, none of this stuff is you'll notice that it's not 17.0, it's still a minor version bump. So all the old stuff still works. But all my new stuff is just going to use functions. I'll never write a new class again. Any old class that I had, I'll probably rewrite it to a hook before, or to use hooks before I do anything with it, just as a pure refactor, because I can't imagine having classes that are even compare. And the really cool thing about this all is because React Testing Library doesn't allow you to test implementation details, you're not going to have any trouble migrating from. So far with the things that I've worked played with, I haven't had any trouble getting hooks converted over to, a class component converted to a function component with hooks with my tests. With one exception, and that is component did mount and component will update, did update those. The corollary for those is use effect, but with use effect, it actually React will schedule it to run your callback at a later time, so it doesn't happen synchronously. Whereas component did mount, that does happen synchronously. There is a closer. There's use layout effect and use mutation effect. And I think use layout effect, I'll write a blog post about this, but use layout effect will run right after React updates the DOM, but synchronously, and use mutation effect runs right before it updates the DOM. So there are slightly different use cases for those. Most of the time you're going to be using use effect. But anyway, if you translate things into use layout effect from component did mount, then you won't have to update anything. But if you probably should be using use effect anyway, it'll be better for performance, and React can schedule it to happen later. And anyway, if you do that, then you do have to make a small change to your test. And I made a video that I'm going to upload here soon on Egghead about what you do. You basically just re-render the component, and React will make sure that it flushes all the effects that have yet to run before it actually renders your component. So that's it's kind of a silly workaround a little bit, but I'm actually pretty cool with it. I'm going to add to React Testing Library, I'll add a little helper to make that even easier. So yeah, for the most part, there's not a whole lot that you need to change on the testing side. It's really easy to refactor to hooks, and it's just so much cleaner. So I'm super excited about it. So anyway, I just thought I was feeling so excited, and I've been working crazy hard to get you some videos on Egghead so that you can learn about these things. I mean, you can look at the docs; they're very, very good. But if you like the way that I explain things or whatever, then you can watch the videos and you'll learn from those as well. And also suspense. We haven't talked about suspense at ReactConf yet, but I have been in the process of preparing content about suspense, and with hooks, I just made a couple changes. So yeah. Anyway, it's super cool. I'm watching these comments as they come in. It's kind of fun to watch those. I think that's it that I really want to talk about. I'm just super excited about that stuff. I think by the end of this, I'll have 14 videos uploaded to Egghead that are pretty much just reworks of material that I already had lying around that were pretty straightforward to refactor over to using hooks and using suspense. Let's see. Yeah. So it's going to be great. And they're all free. And there's a playlist. If you check out my Twitter, it was like a couple hours ago, I tweeted about creating the playlist. The first couple are up there. I'm almost done with everything. So just been, I've gotten pretty good at this whole edit, like record edit thing. And so I can do this pretty quick now. And considering I already had lots of the material lying around, it didn't take a whole lot of time. And the docs are like silly good. So anyway, I hope that's helpful for you. I'm really curious to hear what you all feel, like how you all feel about hooks. One thing that I think some people are going to be worried about is like, okay, so what does this do to all of my knowledge that I've invested my time into learning render props? And now you're saying I don't care about those. Or like some people are worried about, like, well, there's some people are still worried about higher order components and that I don't like render props. Well, if you didn't like render props, then you're going to love this because it's so much better. And if you like render props, then you can keep using them. They're great. And lots of the patterns that I've taught about really refactor nicely into hooks. Like in Dan's talk, he he had that custom hook, the use form input. And that just returned some event handlers and stuff, and then he spread those across the input. That's prop collections, just with hooks. And then you can improve that a little bit with a prop getter. And yeah, so lots of the patterns are still apply. Like compound components, for example, that doesn't change at all. How you implement it changes, but that pattern itself is still really useful. The render prop pattern, I'm pretty sure that there's not a scenario where I'd ever use a render prop now that I have hooks. But the process of learning that pattern taught me about like that React is just JavaScript. So I think that was still useful to learn that. And context, the provider pattern, that's still like it still works. Like that conceptually that's still useful. But just you're using hooks to consume context now, which is so good, so good. So anyway, I think it's great. I can't wait to actually start shipping applications with this stuff. Hopefully they release an official stable version of React hooks really soon, 16.7. Cannot wait. It's just going to be so awesome. And suspense, like 16.6, like we're all excited about suspense and stuff. 16.6 launches, like releases suspense. Like it literally is stable released. It's out. So you can start using suspense today. Concurrent mode, which is an important aspect of suspense, that still is not actually released. Hopefully that comes out in the next minor version. But you can use it. You can use the unstable concurrent mode or unstable create root thing. So you can actually use it. And suspense technically does work. Some features don't really work super well, but like the max duration thing doesn't quite work without concurrent mode. But like, yeah, so many cool things coming in React. You'll notice I'm sporting my React shirt today, so good times. Anyway, yeah. Oh, one thing that I'm really loving. Somebody just said that they're new to React, and I can't wait to finally teach or to be able to teach React without having to spend half of the day teaching a bunch of weird JavaScript features around classes. Holy moly. Like most of my beginner React workshops were all about, here, let's talk about classes, and let's teach you about this and why this behaves differently in JavaScript than any other language that you've ever used, and why we have, like, why you get this dot set state is not a function. Like, it's so frustrating. But now we don't have to worry about that. It's so much simpler. So anyway, I think I've been getting a couple comments. Let me see if I can look at those. So somebody's saying, I'm new to React, just wanted to know that use star functions were already part of React previously or added in alpha. They were just added today, like, and not actually added. They're still in development, so look forward to that. It's gonna be great. Any other questions or thoughts before I wrap this up? When will you be bringing us Reason React stuff? Oh boy, I really want to use Reason. I just haven't yet. I can't bring you Reason stuff until I actually ship something with it. So hopefully I can do that eventually. I don't know though, these hooks, man, they're so good. I don't know if I want to use it. Okay. Do you know if hooks will affect testing? Adam, at the beginning of or earlier in my video, you had to scroll back a little bit. I talked about that at length, where because React Testing Library doesn't really allow you to test implementation details, it doesn't really affect testing. There's one little thing with effects that do, but yeah, not much. My egghead stuff that I'm pushing out today. I have two videos that are gonna cover testing that are like, here, the first one is like, let me show you testing a React component that uses hooks is just like testing a regular class, no changes. And then the next one is like, except if you're using hooks, then you have to do this one thing. If you're using the effect hook, then you might have to do this one thing. So that's the impact right there. And that's it. All right, I'm gonna jump out. This was fun. I am like super excited about hooks. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you are interested in hooks or if you are nervous about hooks, like what concerns you have about hooks. And yeah, other than that, I'm gonna peace out. It was fun.